What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. I hope everyone had a great weekend. But the last rebuild we obviously did something about the Brooklyn Nets trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obviously, I gave an explanation on why I did a video on that in the first place, but usually how we do things on this channel is we sometimes do both sides of the trade because it makes for fun content. So, that being said, that's exactly what we're doing today. We just did Giannis to the Nets, so I'm going to do that exact same trade that I did in that video in today's video. We're going to see what we can turn the Bucks into after Giannis maybe is traded this offseason, potentially. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. YouTube tells about 56% of the people that watch the videos aren't actually subscribed, so if you do fall in that 56%, want to change that, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, if you're a Bucks fan watching this, or just a Giannis fan, or whatever it may be, this is only for entertainment purposes. I'm not advocating for Giannis to be traded, or am I saying he is going to be traded? But obviously, the media is the media. There is a ton of speculation on Giannis's future right now if the Bucks disappoint the playoffs again. There's been a lot of talk about what Giannis has said. Sometimes he said about, the goal is always to win a championship, and if he can't do that here, he'll leave. Also once said that he will never request a trade, so who knows? This is literally, like I said, for entertainment purposes only. But let's go ahead and submit the rest of this season, and let's see how we do in the playoffs, shall we? Because obviously that's going to be a big, important step. The one thing we know, though, unfortunately, in 2K for the Bucks terms, they usually aren't good in the 2K simulation. They usually get eliminated in round one, I've noticed. So let's see if that happens again. So let's go ahead and see if we're going to lose to the Indiana Pacers. So money current round, and we will lose in 7. So this kind of fits, exactly what would happen or what could happen if the Bucks lost. Would Giannis then say, I want out or whatever? And I don't truly feel like the Nets are the landing spot, but it was just a big rumor on, X the other day, or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. So that's why we did a video on in the first place. You guys seem to enjoy it. So now we're doing the reverse side of the trade, obviously. So the trade might be different because the Nets might have a better draft pick this time because that draft pick was involved. But let's go ahead and see what it is. So, and they get the second overall selection, which actually I think is good for us because I think in that video, the pick fell to like 6 through 9 or something like that. But this time it's number 2. So that actually works better for us. So let's go make the Giannis trade. Same exact one I did the other day. And we will see what we look like after that. So is this essentially the exact same trade we did the other day, other than like I said, or on Friday rather, but the pick is different. It's no longer 6 through 9 or whatever it was. It's now their number 2 overall pick, which actually bodes well for us. So let's go ahead and make this trade happen. So just like that, we did the exact same trade like I said. And let's go take a look at what the roster looks like now. So we still have Damian Lillard. With Giannis being traded, I think Dame could obviously follow next to him being traded away more than likely. So we have Cameron Johnson and Claxton, which keeps us afloat because there's no real reason for us to tank, obviously, simply because we don't have our draft picks. The Bucks have mortgaged a lot of their future, so we're not in the incentive to tank right now. So we could, in theory, keep Dame as well, but it would also make sense if he'd want out because obviously Dame is after a championship and he's running out of time. He spent a lot of his career in Portland and they failed him really badly. But let's go ahead and look at number 2 and 19, and then we'll kind of figure out what we want to do after that. So number 1 overall is going to be Cooper Flagg to Toronto. So we could take either Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey or even BJ Edgecombe if we wanted to. I think I've had Ace Bailey more recently than I've had Dylan Harper, so I do think I will take Dylan Harper, which probably leads to Dame being gone now. So Dylan Harper is the new Milwaukee Buck, and now we can go take a look at what we can do in the second round, or sorry, for this late first round, I should say. So I'm going to take Carter Bryant here. So welcome to the Bucks. So now we have ourselves Dylan Harper, and we also have Carter Bryant. So a 74 overall and a 79 to start things off. So yes, in a way, it is a rebuild, also kind of a stay afloat kind of thing as well, because like I said, not having our draft picks hurt us. So yes, we could re-sign Bobby Portis and stuff like that, which I still might do, but let me evaluate things first. So Damian Lillard, I think, has to go with the addition of Dylan Harper. I don't really think it makes sense to keep those two guys together. Kuzma is probably going to have to stay, I assume, on his contract. And then Cameron Johnson, Carter Bryant, and then Claxton and Tyler Smith right now. But I do think we turn our attention to a Damian Lillard trade. Now, as far as what Dame would net in return at this point, I mean, he's still a damn good point guard. But I'm not going to try to, make some kind of big return out of it. I just want something that would make sense for us. So, this one isn't bad, but sending Dame to Utah would be kind of interesting, I guess. Zach LaVine, and then the Orlando Magic. Pacers, no, that doesn't make any sense. Detroit, no. Raptors is intriguing, but not sure I like that a lot. Hartenstein, no. Timberwolves, Gobert. Doesn't really help us much. Blazers, we send him back to Portland. As much as I would love to get Denny Avdia, who's been awesome. Then we have Jordan Poole. I don't like any of these offers, honestly. I'm not going to lie. Unless if the Cavs were, like, interested in making, like, a different move because they want to pair Damian Lillard with Donovan Mitchell. Like, I could maybe see the path to that. But I don't know. Or we could swap him, Damian Lillard, for John Morant. There's a lot of speculation on John Morant right now and what his future could be. He just got in trouble again for the Bucks, sick of his shenanigans. And I don't know. Getting Damian Lillard just for John Morant, though, would be like what the Mavericks just did. So that would be pretty brutal if the Grizzlies chose that direction. So I don't know if I can really sit there and say, yeah, that makes sense. No, I don't think I can get behind that. The Miami Heat giving us Bam and LaMelo. I'm not in love with a lot of these offers, so let me go see if I can make my own. These were kind of cool to think about. This one by far would be my favorite, and I think it would make the most sense right now for Cleveland. Grizzlies is interesting too, but like I said, man, if you're a Grizzlies fan, the one thing you get in return for John Morant is you get Tyler Smith and Damian Lillard. I mean, you could include more. We could shape it around that, but I'm just gonna try to make my own really quickly. So this one's actually interesting and different, and I kind of like the idea behind it. I don't know if the Nuggets will say yes to this, but what if we got Jamal Murray, who I never trade for, but there's potential the Nuggets could make a shakeup this offseason with Jamal Murray's health. I'm not going to lie, we are inheriting a long contract with Jamal Murray, so that is a little unfortunate, but he would definitely be a kind of guy that keeps us above water, and we're not tanking. We're still getting Strother and hopefully a first-round pick on top of this. So this is an interesting one. Let's see what they say. They don't say yes to that. Well, I honestly don't think it's the worst offer in the world. So let's see. Can I give you... No, they don't have any money to take on, which I guess we can try to throw maybe... We can throw Livingston at them, I guess. And then we can do this Blazers swap. And they still don't agree. Honestly, I don't think this is the worst idea in the world, though, for Denver to try to do. What if it's just this? And okay, they agreed to it. I would have loved to have had Strother too. And trading that swap sucks, don't get me wrong, but we get Jamal Murray and a first round pick from Denver in the future. So definitely an interesting way to go about things, but we still have ourselves an interesting roster. We're still trying to be good while collecting some assets and draft capital. We still have Dylan Harper. So there's still a future here, but there's still a present, I guess, which is usually not a great idea in the NBA landscape, but that is what we're doing right now. So now we need to figure out what else we're going to sign. I think there is probably, it probably is in our best interest to re-sign like Bobby Portis and Gary Trent and stuff like that. So I'm going to give Gary Trent a 2-year deal, but I'm not giving out some big contracts. We're only going to go 2-year deals on both of them. We'll give Bobby Portis more money because if he's taking a 2-year deal, probably would want quite a bit of money out of it. We'll give Brook a 1-year deal because he's 37 years old. So we're going to re-sign all of these guys, and the roster becomes interesting. Almost to the point where I feel like this team won't be great, obviously, but it might be decent enough. I'm also going to bring back Jericho Sims, who's still young enough if he isn't signed already. I think I just renounced him on accident. I mean, if we did, it's not that big of a deal, but let's see. Let's see what we like about this. So Jericho Sims, still here. We'll take him on a minimum. All right, so that will be it. All right, so now, and then Ryan Rollins actually wouldn't be bad to bring back either if we still can. I don't know if we're going to be able to, though, so let's go see if he's still available. Ryan Rollins, are you here? Ryan Rollins, yes, we can bring him back. Okay, so that will be it. All right, let's go to player progression. So now you got your new Bucks roster. So we got Jamal Murray regress, Cameron Johnson regress, and Brook Lopez regress. So the one thing we do have is some players we can still trade away in the future. But this is definitely a new look Bucks team for sure. There's no more Giannis or Damian Lillard. Jamal Murray becomes the best player now, and we still have Dylan Harper as well, who could be an interesting piece going forward. So this will be kind of interesting. I'm kind of expecting, obviously, this season not to be very good, but we want to stay afloat. We don't want to tank. We don't have our draft picks, which is why we are interested in being good and not just tanking away. All right, let's go ahead and let's see if we can't. I have to cut somebody. Oh, man, I don't want to cut Tyler Smith, and I just signed. I guess Sims isn't making the roster. I would have loved to have kept you, but there just isn't a way right now. All right. Go take a look at the rotation for year one. Or I guess this is year two. So power ranking is 27th overall, so it's not great. So again, my expectations are not that high with this team right now. So let's go balanced across the board, and here is your starting rotation. So it's gonna be Murray, Harper, Kuzma, Bobby Portis, Claxton, Cameron Johnson, Brook Lopez, Gary Trent, AJ Green. It's a solid looking team. I am gonna go 10-man rotation though, get some guys involved, and I'll shrink the bench utilization down as well to 40. And I need Jamal Murray to probably be our best player this season. His shot tendency is high enough that would be justified in that. Kuzma's shot tendency is really high too, which I don't like. Harper's is good enough as a rookie that I'm cool with that. So, all right. Like I said, my expectations for this team are not very high, but I would love to be proven wrong. If I do stop at the trade deadline and make any type of move, I will show you. But more than likely, I'm just going to let this season rock out, and hopefully this team makes it into the playoffs. And then we're going to be stuck with Jamal Murray for a while, which I'm fine with. We'll see what we can turn him into. I've never traded for him really ever, which is why I was kind of intrigued by that idea. But so far, this season is not going well at all. So unfortunately, at the end of year number 2, we were extremely, and I mean extremely horrible. We were terrible. So we were not good. You guys kind of saw a preview of it, obviously. Harper makes an all-rookie first team, but our team sucked really badly. We did not even get close to making it into the playoffs. So we'll be giving a good draft pick to somebody. Jamal Murray did have 22 points per game, which is great to see that. He's going to be here for a while, obviously, with him being on a 4-year deal. Although, you know, maybe we could find a way to move him out of here potentially if some team was interested in his services, which I'm not opposed to. It just kind of depends on the return, obviously. But we're kind of locked into this team for a while. A lot of these guys have multiple years left in the deal, which is why I was not in a rush to trade some of them at the trade deadline. Let's go ahead and see who goes on to win the championship. So either Dame or Giannis made the playoffs with their teams, which is actually really disappointing to see. Denver made it to the play. Or no, they were in here. They got swept, though. Just didn't see them. Okay. We got San Antonio. Just kidding. Minnesota and Toronto. And the Timberwolves go on to win the championship. Okay. Brook Lopez is going to call it a career. And for the lottery, like I said, we'll be giving our pick to somebody else. So our pick is going to, I think, the Pelicans, right? Yeah. So the Suns get number 1. Thunder via Utah. And the Knicks via Washington. Rockets via Brooklyn. Which those 3 of those picks are extremely wrong, which is really annoying. But honestly, I don't even have the energy and the patience to fix it today. But Doc Rivers can go, though, so he can go. Billy Donovan, Atkinson, Joe Mazzulla. I've never seen that name before. Charles Lee. We can bring in Charles Lee, which would be interesting. Or we could go for Joe Mazzulla as well. Or we can go Kenny Atkinson. I'm fine with one of these two. So Charles Lee, let's go Kenny Atkinson, actually. Kenny Atkinson will be the addition here. Milwaukee's, you know, obviously doing a good job in Cleveland right now. Let's head to draft night, and let's see what we can do here, shall we? So no draft picks. We have 17 and 18, though. So Denver pick becomes 18th overall. Jamal Murray, 3 years left of his deal. As you can see, everyone has kind of like 1 year left on their deal. So this will probably be another year where we are, you know, trying to stay above float, but we know, you know, inevitably things will come to an end, you know, soon. So 17 and 18. We're going to take Bryson here to start things off, and then we will take, we can take Sheridan, Kareem Lopez, or Harrington. I'm going to take Dash Daniels. Welcome to Milwaukee, Dash Daniels. So that's going to be our draft picks. So Tilly and Dash Daniels. Options, Rick Whitehead accepted as well. And then qualifying offer is nothing. For free agency, we don't have cap space. It would be, you know, nice to have some, but we just don't. AJ Green is a free agent, and he's only 26 years old. But I might let him go anyway because we have just so much other players to worry about. So Jamal Murray, Ryan Rollins, Gary Trent, Harper, and Ajax. And I think this is where we could probably maybe start to move some guys out of here. So first and foremost, the first one would be, I mean, both, honestly, like Kuzma, Johnson, and Portis can all be guys I would be fine with getting rid of right now. So let's go see if we can make some trades to move some stuff out of here. Actually, don't hate this trade from Orlando where we get an expiring KCP, so he has no player option next year, but we get a really good backup center in Goga Badaste, which we do need one right now. So this is where I'm going to start things off. So Portis for Goga Badaste and KCP is the first trade we're going to be doing. So Bobby Portis is out of here. That gives us our backup 5 behind Claxton with Goga Badaste, so I like that a lot. Let's go make another move after that is done. And next will probably be Cam Johnson. The Memphis Grizzlies are looking to give me 2 first-round picks for Cameron Johnson, which I do think could be his market potentially if traded. Maybe it comes to 1 first now, but Memphis is trying to give me an unprotected pick. And say you give me, I don't know if there's anything I'd really want outside of that. They aren't giving me Jalen Wells, would they? What we're giving Cameron? Would they give me Jalen Wells? I'm gonna try it. I doubt they do, but let's see. They want Bryson Tilley, but we get Jalen Wells and Jay Huff. Ooh, this one intrigues me. An unprotected 2027, but we get Jalen Wells here in Milwaukee. I like it. I think I'm gonna do it. This gives Dylan Harper a really good teammate going forward with Jalen Wells. 3-point percentage wasn't great last year, but I know he can develop into like an 86 overall 3-and-D wing for you. So I think I'm going to do it. We get an unprotected 2027 pick. So worst case scenario, yeah, sign me up. It sucks to give up Bryson Tilley, but getting Jalen Wells feels pretty good on a very, very cheap contract. So Jamal Murray still here. And then the last one would probably be Kyle Kuzma, which I'm obviously not expecting a lot in return for him. The Cavaliers are willing to give me Max Strus and a second-round pick. Make it 3 seconds and you got yourselves a deal. I doubt they'll say yes to this, but okay, sure, we net 2 seconds. Let's do it. So boom, just like that, Kuzma is now gone, and we now have kind of a different looking roster now. So we'll see what this looks like when it's all said and done, but I love the trades we made, honestly. I think this is going to look good going forward. So I don't think there's any free agent I'm signing either. I guess we could use a power forward if there's one we could go for. So Kashawn George sitting here, though, is honestly ridiculous. If the Washington Wizards really want to just... Oh, man, that would have been awesome to get him. He goes to... Did he just say he went to the Knicks? I think it did. Damn, I should have jumped on that earlier. That's what I get for not looking, I guess. Okay, give me Kenyon Martin on a one-year deal for depth there because we don't really have another power forward. Man, I would have loved Kashawn George there. I don't know why the Wizards cut him, but let's go to player progression. And let's see what Dylan Harper is developing into because he's obviously kind of the future of this team. Jamal Murray is the president right now, but he will be moved eventually as well. Carter Bryant's up to 78, so he's going to be a big part of what we do this year too. Ajax, Rollins, Tyler Smith is up too. So a lot of this is looking good. Still not expecting a whole lot next year, but I'm happy on the path we're headed in right now. I love the Jalen Wells addition, and I can't wait to kind of see what this team's looking like for year 3. But again, I still think we're going to be probably pretty bad next year. Damn, we have to cut somebody. Ah, man, who's it going to be? It has to be Jay Huff, unfortunately, which sucks. But he's 29 years old, and I don't think I'm going to cut anybody else outside of him. All right, let's go take a look at the rotation. Power Rank has us 27th overall, and here is your proficiency under Kenny Atkinson. So we can be 3.5, but I'll leave it. Oh, we can be 4-star perimeter centric. Sign me up for that. So don't really know if I'm expecting a playoff type run this year, but obviously Kenny Atkinson is our coach for a long time now because the Bucks have just cycled through head coaches lately, and Doc Rivers needed to go. So we have Murray, Harper, Wells, Bryant, Claxton. Okay, so I do think Carter Bryant, Jalen Wells, and Dylan Harper is here to stay for the foreseeable future, hopefully, as our starters. But Claxton and Jamal Murray, we'll see on them. Trent, Goga Badotze, Strus, Ryan Rollins, and Ajax. That leaves Dariq Whitehead, which I'd rather give Dariq White. Actually, I'll leave Strus in. Why not? We'll just leave it the way it is. All right. We'll see how this season goes. Not expecting a whole lot here, but if I'm surprised, that's good. If I'm not, then whatever, right? Like, that's what I expected. So Cade wins MVP, AJ is your Rookie of the Year, Fox is your 6-man Wemby Defensive Player, Mogbo Most Improved, and Kyrie is your Clutch Player. So once again, not a good season. We were horrible again, which again, I keep saying again, but I expected that. So here are your player stats. 24 from Jamal Murray, 19 from Harper, 13 from Carter Bryant, 12 from Trent, 10 from Strus, 10 from Jalen Wells, 9 from Rollins, 9 and 8 from Claxton, and 6 from Goga Badotze. A lot of guys are coming off the books, which is nice. And I do think it is time to also trade Jamal Murray. So I brought in Murray in the hopes that he would keep us above water and we'd be a playoff team every year, but that has not been what's happened at all. In fact, it's been the opposite. So, wow, we actually have oh my gosh, that trade we just made just turned into the 3rd overall pick. That Cameron Johnson trade just turned into the 3rd overall pick plus Jalen Wells. What a trade, man. What a trade that just ended up becoming. Damn, I will take that. So 3rd overall pick coming to us in the 2027 draft. So let's go see what we maybe are going to walk away with. So we have Stokes, McCoy. I mean, there's so many different ways to go about this, but that is awesome. All right. So number 1 is going to be Stokes to Sacramento. Number 2 is going to be Brandon McCoy, which I was honestly intrigued by taking one of them, but we won't get either of them. So Costanza, Hugo, and you got Caleb Gaskins. So do we want... I think I'm going to take Costanza. Ariza's not bad too. This one's interesting. Or do we take Sadiq White? I'm going to take Alex Costanza, 27 points per game, 60%, one game. Why does it always say one game play? That's so weird to me. But welcome to Milwaukee. I cannot believe we walked away with the 3rd overall pick from that trade. So I would have loved to have taken McCoy, but a 78 Costanza feels good too. And here is kind of the rest of how the draft shook out. Man, what a rebuild this has been so far. But I'm looking to make the playoffs next year if possible. So Wells, Bryant, Smith, all will be accepted. The young core is about to be embraced heavily, not gonna lie. So Ajax, the free agent, Drake White's a free agent, Trent, Ryan Rollins, Gobadots, KCP, and Max Strus. A lot of free agents to worry about, but let me go evaluate some things again. So Murray, 2 years left in his deal. I think it's time we move on from him. Wells, Costanza, Carter Bryant, Claxton, Tyler Smith. I like it. So let's see what a Jamal Murray trade might net us, because I think it's time to hopefully move on from him if we. I'm gonna do this trade with the Los Angeles Clippers where we simply just get Mitchell Robinson and Ben Simmons, but this gives us our backup center and backup point guard, which I like quite a bit for both sides. So, or for us anyway. Let me see if I can get a first rounder out of them too. They want a second? Yeah, sign me up. So we get a first out of them too. That feels good. Ben Simmons is now added. Costanza. Then we have Mitchell Robinson and backup Claxton. We'll probably move Tyler Smith to the power forward since he's 6'9", and he does stay the same, so that's good. I want to choose this or fix this secondary position if I can do that. So let's. Ooh, not what I wanted to. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, so we'll give him still a secondary center if we want to go like small ball sometimes. So Harper, Ben Simmons, Dash Daniels, Dylan Wells, Costanza, Carter Bryant, Tyler Smith, Claxton, Mitchell Robinson. So we pretty much just need a good starting shooting guard, and we should be golden. So let's go see what we got here. So we have Ajax, Drake Whitehead, a lot of free agents here, but we could wait. Do we have money to sign somebody? We do. Wow, we actually have cap space too. Let's sign a good damn shooting guard to pair next to Dylan Harper, shall we? So there's Jalen Green, who's unrestricted entirely. There's Brandon Miller, and there's Shaedon Sharpe. I have gotten Shaedon Sharpe and Dylan Harper to be paired together before. Belil is here too. That's interesting. Restricted though. But I think I like the idea of going after Jalen Green. Let's give Jalen Green a nice offer. We'll give him a 3-year deal. He's unrestricted. So let's give him a deal to be our potential scorer next to Dylan Harper. I like it. So we'll bring Jalen Green in. It's going to cause us to renounce quite a bit of people, but I'm fine with that. So Jalen Green is a new addition. Like I said, our angle is to try to make the playoffs next year. So that's why Jalen Green feels like a nice necessity to bring in. So Dash Daniels, we honestly could rock with this and hope Dash Daniels just develops. So I'm cool with this. We're going to let everyone else walk. I know Drake Whitehead was part of the Giannis trade, but just never found an avenue for him to play. Let's just go to player progression and let's see what this is going to look like. This is, this is a full turn of the page in my opinion. Harper's up to an 88. John Wells 85. Carter Bryant's up to an 82. Robinson, Simmons, Smith, Dash Daniels is up to. So this is like almost a fully, embrace of the young core, other than obviously having veterans like Claxton, Robinson, and Ben Simmons. But Harper and Jalen Green should be the guys that take over here. And I think there's a chance we make the playoffs next year. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's possible. So I do want to look at shot intensities before we go into this season. So obviously Harper and Jalen Green are going to score. Carter Bryant's up to 72 as the third option. So I like that. And everything else looks pretty good. I'll give Jalen Wells just a little bit of a boost. But yeah, this looks good. So here is your proficiency. It is a 4-star proficiency as well, perimeter centric. You have Dylan Harper, Jalen Green, Jalen Wells, Carter Bryant, Claxton, Robinson, Simmons, Costanza, and Tyler Smith, and Dash Daniels. So guys, I will see y'all at the end of year 4. Power rank has this as 12, so I'm anticipating this to be a much better season than we've seen lately. But we'll see if that is a correct thing to think about this roster. So Wemby wins MVP. Stokes is a rookie of the year. Cameron Boozer is your 6th-man Wemby defensive player. Darius most improved. And Luka is your clutch player. And as you guys can see, the team did really well. 65-17. It's been a full turnaround from what we've seen lately. But I will take it. So do we have anybody? We do have Dylan Harper making All-NBA first team, averaging 24.5 points per game plus 9 assists. Here's your All-NBA second team, All-NBA third team, All-Defensive first team, and All-Defensive second team. So let's see how's Brooklyn doing, by the way. So they're the 6th seed. It would be cool to run into Giannis potentially at one point. They have Belil, Cameron Thomas, D'Lo, Avicic, Hendricks. So not a bad looking team. Is Denver still with Dame? I doubt it, but they're not even in the playoffs. Who cares? Okay. First seed in Milwaukee Bucks. Let's see if that means we win it all, though. Jalen Green came in and averaged 27 points per game. So love that. Carter Bryant with 14 and 7. Jalen Wells with 12, 11 from Costanza, and 11 from Tyler Smith off the bench. Not bad. Okay, let's go 9-man rotation for these playoffs, and let's see if we can't get to the conference finals or the finals. Do we actually get to play against Kenny Atkins' former team? Let's see how this is going to go. Kind of the same Cavs roster, other than they've added Gigi Jackson. They have Chris Murray as well, and then Bones Highland. But we will beat them in 4, so good start. And now we get to play Toronto, which Toronto always ends up being sneaky good in the simulation. I swear, man. Them and Brooklyn always have themselves a good roster, but so far so good in this department, unless they even it up, which they will. So now we got a big game 5 ahead of us. Let's see if we can't win game 5 and potentially go up 3-2 here. But the Raptors will push us here. They always seem to give me trouble. And we will hang on by 1 point. That was way scarier than I wanted to be. But now we're on the road in Toronto. So let's see if a game 7 will happen, or can we just win in 6 here. And this is going to be pretty close, but we will hang on. 118 and 113. We beat them in 6. And now we can play the Charlotte Hornets, who have LaMelo, Salon, Brandon Miller, Mark Williams. So honestly, it's a pretty similar Hornets team, other than Arenas is coming off the bench for them. Game 1 goes to us. Game 2 goes to us. So far, so good. And the Raptors might be... Nope. I was about to say, the Raptors might be the only team... Actually, it is. Yep, actually, not nope. But the Raptors are the only team that gave us trouble. And we get to play San Antonio more than likely. And the Spurs. Wembanyama, as I just hit my table and my table started shaking. But Harper versus Wemby in the finals. Let's see what else the Spurs have. So they have Boogie Flan, Castle Vassell, Collins Fox, Wembanyama, Josh Giddey as well, Derek Queen, Keegan Murray, and Jasper Johnson. Here goes nothing. Game 1 goes to San Antonio. Game 2 goes to us. Game 3 goes to them. We don't want to go down 3-1 to San Antonio. That sounds pretty dangerous, but it might happen here as they have a nice lead so far. And do we get back in it? We do not. All right. Well, we're down 3-1 and we're in the final. So let's see if we can't make a 3-1 comeback. 1 game at a time. This is going to be game 5 right now. Can we win game 5? It's close. Very close, and we will win. 132 to 138. One more game. We have forced a game 7. Can we make it happen, though? Let's see what happens in game 6. So can we blow them out in game 6? That would be awesome. It's going to be in our favor right now, but I'm not okay, they might get back in it, but they will not. A game 7 is, in fact, happening. Game 7 at home in Milwaukee. Can we hang on to this and finish the 3-1 comeback? It's close, but I think we have a nice lead right now. Just don't let them back in it. It's getting closer in the 4th quarter. I don't like it. Okay, just hang on to the lead. We're going home as champions after, missing the playoffs. This is after we traded Giannis away, and I think we did it, guys. We have come back down 3-1 and took out Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs 124 to 112. Let's freaking go, man. I thought we were dead for there, and I thought we were having to go another season, but we came back, man. That's wild. So the Spurs are about to inbound it. They're going to give it to Flan, to Wembanyama, back to Collins, back to Fox. Fox is just going to hang on to the ball. I don't think they're going to even try to shoot this one. Thought they were going to try, but I guess not. I maybe could have gotten a foul. Okay, they are going to shoot it. Flan 3 goes in. Do they foul, though? I doubt it. There's only 1 second left. And that is all she wrote, guys. We're going to go home as champions to start off Monday's rebuild, which is awesome. Love that. So we bring in Ben Simmons, Mitchell Robinson for Jamal Murray, and bring in Jalen Green, and it immediately resulted in a win for us after being down 3-1 in the final. So that is how you do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We have the last week of the regular season here, and then we get to play into the playoffs starting soon, which should be a ton of fun. So thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Crushables. And peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.